I say howdy.
I say, yo,
Welcome to the Big Book Bros. We are on episode 12. Oh my goodness, we keeping it going and going and going. All right, you should already know if y'all new to the streams or if y'all new here, I'm gonna give you a quick groundwork. On this stream, usually on the Big Book Bros, we just talk about anything nerd related, comics, anime, books, graphic novels, the whole shebang bang. So if y'all got any questions regarding for dogs, just click on the other videos that is not titled for the Big Book Bros, and then you can just see other playlists that we have regarding for dogs, anything dog, Pacific. If you got any special questions you want to talk to the boss man, Country Rican, again, just watch the videos because he'll put his information out there where you can contact him, and we'll just get started. We already know we just do stuff when we do. What's up, Big Dell? We already got our first person getting on here. So usually we don't do scripts. We really ain't trying to do a lot of scripts. We just go with the flow, just keep it going. We just do this for us, and then we just like to entertain and get people's suggestions. Country Rican's gonna start it off, but real quick, I didn't want to cut him off. I do need to give a big shout out to Tony Petty because they sent me some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So I just really want to be grateful for a couple of these fans and all the people that have been supporting me. Especially a shout out to Monotone Kami. You definitely got to look him up on YouTube and Instagram for his amazing artwork. And then I'll be quiet for now. I'm gonna let Country Rican take it over. What you got for me today?
man, as many of y'all know, I was talking on the last episode, which is kind of funny because I messed around and thought this was episode 11. Michael corrected me, episode 12. But on episode 11, towards the end, I kind of talked about Monstress. I heard a lot about this. I want to say back in like 2018, possibly. And it's the main character is a female, which I have nothing against that. When you make the character relatable and make the character genuine, so I heard a lot about it. I decided to pick it up. Right now, there's 4 trade paperbacks. I messed around and ordered the 4th one because I finished the 1 through 3. I finished in 2 days. They are 6 issues, a volume. It's unique. It's really different. I really like it because they did a really good job building up the world of Monstress. There's to this point, there's a lot of stuff I don't understand, and there's a lot of different type of species. There's I forgot what it's called again when the animals talk.
Anthropomorphic. Mm-hmm.
They have anthropomorphic characters in here. I like it. You got a lot of cats. A lot of them are tigers, lions, like tabby cats, even panthers, foxes, which isn't a cat. Foxes, wolves.
Foxes were canine.
Huh?
Say what? No, I thought foxes were canine.
No,
foxes are canine.
I meant also foxes and wolves. Yeah, they are canines. But it's anthropomorphic. But I'm saying most of the characters are cats and or felines, and then there's quite a bit of canines as well. There's also all kind of other ones as well, like sharks, octopuses, I can't think of nothing. Birds. But what's pretty neat too is not only are there like tigers that are they have like a human shape. There's also cats that are like tiny, like real cats. Like little tabby cats and different types of cats like that. So there's different species. There's like it's crazy, man. It's like they have half stuff. They have like half animal, half humans. They have mixes between half demons, half humans, half angels, half humans, then full angels, full demons. So the world is huge, and it does a good job because after each issue, the last pages are like nothing but story building, nothing but world building. So it's really deep, man. And a lot of times I would read them and it'd go way over my head. So I kind of like that because it's interesting. It keeps your attention. I think it the paces the story really well. Um, a lot of the main characters are females. Her mother, her aunt.
Well, real quick, you was
Go ahead.
talking about a lot of animals and stuff. Is it what do you think of the age rating for people to read those books? 'Cause, you know, a lot
Oh
of
man, this
people-
is definitely mature, dude. They got
Got
people getting their heads cut off. The female, like in the very beginning, it's like a big slave market's going on, and they have them naked. They don't really show nothing. They cover everything up besides the butts. They show the butts, but it's mature. You know, there's definitely cussing in here and torture going on. So it's definitely mature. You know, a lot of these image books, specifically the ones that I like to read, a lot of them are. I shouldn't even say that, man. I would say not just what I like to read, but almost for the most part, image books are pretty raw, man. I can't even think of one that I would recommend for little kids. You know, I'm sure there's some out there, but I can't think of any. You know, if you want to read little kid stuff, you're better off sticking with Image, Boom. Did I say Image? My bad.
Yeah,
I meant Marvel.
IDW is
Yes,
pretty.
sorry. IDW,
Yeah.
Boom, Marvel, DC. You know, because DC has a line called they just changed it. It used to be Vertigo, and that was like their mature line.
Yeah.
And they changed the name of it though. I don't know what the name of it. I think it's DC. No, is it? I think it's like DC. I can't remember. And then Marvel has Marvel Max. You know, that's like the Punishers, the Deadpools. A lot of times Wolverine even. They have some with Fury. What is it? Sergeant Fury? I forget his name. Is it Sergeant Fury? Is that his name?
I think
Agent Fury, whatever. But you know, a lot of those say Max.
Yeah, it's this Fury. Usually it's this Fury. Yeah, they don't really put him in a rank. The last I hear about Fury from was Shield.
Yeah. But I think the particular one, I think it is called Sergeant Fury. I'm not sure because it's an old book. It came out like 2005, but it's a Max book from Fury. So I have to go and look at it, but it is a Max one though. But they don't, not too many characters, you know, fit in Max, but anyways, so for the most part, yeah, most of my images, I you know, heads getting cut off, hands getting cut off, you know, blood, you know, cursing, you know. So I really I can't think of one off the top of my head that's from image that's not mature. But the art is definitely fantastic. I was trying to find, you know, here's some more art right here of the main protagonist. So Monstress. So at this point, man, I really don't know what she is. Like, I think I don't know. I don't know if she's definitely not human. We know that much. But we're not sure like if she's mixed between they call these certain creatures gods, but they're not gods. Like they talk about them getting killed and stuff like that, but in the story they talk about them being gods. So I think that she's a mix between a human and one of those creatures that they call gods, which is like an angel or a demon, which I think she's mixed with an angel. And because she has not she has abilities, not yeah, she has some supernatural strength, but it's crazy, dude, because it's crazy, you know, it's really deep. But then here's one of the angels, you know, that helps her out, and then here's one of the characters. I really like him, the little tabby cat you see right there. I think his name is like, what's his name? It was like It was funny because like, let's see if I can find it. Oh, Master Ren. His name is Master Ren. And then the little fox girl, she's pretty dope. She's a little slave girl. They meet up, her and Monstress. Her name's Kippa. I really like her. She's like, you know, she's like the good old girl out the group. while Monstress is a little bit twisted just because what she's been through, and but you can tell she has a good heart. But like Kippa definitely helps her, uh, when she starts leaning a little bit left. Let me show you. There's another picture I had right here that I really like. But I think, yeah, like I said about it being well paced, I really like it because it introduces several characters, but it just doesn't throw you in the middle of 15, 10, 5. It just starts off with 2, and I like that. You see a good friend that she grew up with, that they were slaves together. That was pretty neat. So yeah, I would have finished it in a day if I would have started reading it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And here you got one of the. Let's see if I can find a better picture of her. I was gonna say one of the wolf. She's a leader, and she's she's real pretty. They do a really good job, drawing her out. And then she's royalty too. So let me see if you can. There we go. There she is, right there. So
that little cake behind her remind me of something I see in the Star Wars.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking too. And then here's a little creature. When I told you, like, it's they call them gods. This creature, I forgot his name. I think it's like Zen. Yeah, it's Zen. He gets into Monstress, and throughout when I kind of tell you what I'm telling you, it's kind of bringing in all 3 trade paperbacks. So I'm telling you a little bit from this one, a little bit from that one. They get to know each other because she helps him. She's helping him survive, and he's all bragging how he's a god and this and that. And it's like, dude, you're not a god. He's powerful and all, but he's weak. And he tries to exploit her, and she slowly starts figuring him out and kind of putting things into perspective. And that's pretty neat to see that relationship grow, from, I'm using you to I need you type of relationship, because, you as the story goes on, you see these people these creatures they call gods, they're dying, and they're not as strong as they seem to be. But yeah, I already ordered the 4th volume. It should be here, I think, next week. I ordered it from Stock Trades. And here's another one. This is a fox creature. The other one was a wolf, the lady I showed you. So this is a fox guy.
Man, I am loving them art styles, because like when you show me Zen, that look like something like a crazy symbiote or something nasty. But some of them creatures, yeah, automatically puts in my mind medieval or Star Wars. Man, what you rating on that art? I know I gotta hear your.
Dude, man, honestly, man, it's if I'm not mistaken, let me look. Let me double check.
Yeah.
Yes, I thought so. It's all drew by the same artist, and it's very consistent. Which a lot of times with Marvel and I don't know too much about DC, but I know for a fact with Marvel, artists, dude, like they'll literally make a run of 4 or 5 issues, and they'll say, "Oh, we're gonna have this artist, this artist, this." You'll have a different artist for every issue.
Yeah.
Which I'm cool with that to a degree, but if you're reading a story and they promote this artist, and you only get that artist for 1 or 2 issues, I don't like that. Especially if you like the artist. If you're like, oh, dude, I'm so into this artist, and you're like, yes, my favorite artist, or one of my favorite artists is finally going to draw one of my favorite characters, and you get 1 issue, 2 issues, 5 issues, 6 issues, 1 arc, like, it kind of, and then, okay.
That's how
is when they go backwards. You get a great artist for 6 issues, and that's how usually it goes. And then the second arc, you get a crappy guy, and you're like, dude, it kills it, man. So I'll keep reading it because I'm a fan like that. But a lot of people,
Yeah, hold up. Matter of fact, for the people that either watching it is watching this, yeah, go to episode 11. We was talking about that in the last 30 minutes. This talking about arts, man. This talking about the arts or how the artists just be messing up stuff. Because especially if you heard me, I'm a Marvel fanboy, but how they did Carnage, oh my gosh, straight up, you preaching to the choir, man. Yeah, because I was like, and I'm not talking about cover art. We're not talking about cover art. We're just talking about how they do issues, in series and whatever they do runs. They can just, because I can understand you want to switch up the artists, you want to give some room time, or you want to give more people to do stuff, but yeah, it'll kill it. That will kill the book if you're not consistent, or if you're not improving. Yeah, yeah. Mm-mm.
But when I was talking about the world building at the end of each issue, here's one of them. And as you can see right here, it just talks about what the Federation and enlisting, so you can defeat the enemy. The Federation hates different stuff. So right here, you got types of demons that they mix with humans, and they make half demon kids, and then or they make that look like look like demons, and then they also can make kids that look like humans, and then they got the cats. The Federation, I don't know why. The Federation hates cats, and they kill cats, and there was a huge war where they killed thousands of innocent cats. In the story so far, I've only met good cats. I'm sure there's bad cats as well. With Master Zen, I don't know what's going on with him, and he's part of a group that I don't know exactly who they are. They seem like they may be bad, but I don't know. And they send him to do stuff, but it doesn't tell you why. Other than he gets to a point where he doesn't cooperate and they want to kill him. So I don't know what's going on there. He's one of my favorite characters, Master Zen. He's like a little cat, but dude, he's super old, super strong, or not super strong. He's just super brave. He's not. He's messing around trying to fight, some of these bigger monsters and stuff like that. There's also, like I was telling you, sharks and octopuses. There's also mermaids, and there's also mermaids that are like goblins that eat other mermaids.
That's all jacked up.
Yeah. I seen that and I was like, what the heck, bro? There was a battalion of mermaid people that was gonna go fight, and then all of a sudden they just got ate up by some crazy. Right here, they go right here. They're eating up the mermaids, the other type of mermaids. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, once that 4th volume comes, man, I'm reading that as soon as it drops. It should be here next week, so I may talk about it, or I may talk about it the week coming up. And I'm not sure if it's still going on or not. I mean, I'm sure it is because it's not that old and it's doing so well. But I mean, I'm not sure if it's dropping right now or if how many issues it has. Because with this, they probably only drop 12 issues a year or 6 issues a year. I don't know, since it's an Image title, And then also the artist and the author. The artist is Asian, and the author, I'm not sure what she is. She looks white, but I couldn't tell you with a name like Liu. I don't know what that is. Majority Liu. But
Probably.
anyway, some of the stuff that she has done, she's done X-23, Black Widow, Dark Wolverine, and Astonishing X-Men, which a lot of people like that run. So she's done quite a bit, man. Honestly, for Marvel.
Yeah, but I said she got some good stuff, on her belt for Marvel, especially with the X-Men titles.
Yeah, the Asian chick's Japanese, so it kind of has a manga feel to it, So I'm sure her being Japanese,
that aesthetic and style. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, just looking at them characters. Yeah, like that little kid. Yeah, I see in the top left. Oh, is that the cat?
It's the little kid's a fox, Zipper, and then you got Master Ren, which is the little tabby cat.
Yeah, that's like anime, yes. But yeah, when I was seeing the other stuff with the animals, and Yeah, them high standing, yeah, the high, I guess, yeah, standard people, yeah, they looking like they royalty, or they look like they belong to the council of Star Wars. That's automatically went through my head. But see, yeah, that's like graphic novel stuff. I like that. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna have to add that to my list.
But yeah, each volume is like $8, and then um, they're all in print because I checked them out when I ordered the fourth one. They all popped up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I really enjoyed it. I give the art. I don't think I said anything. I give the art. I would say I want to say 9 because it's consistent. It's really good. It's different. Um, I like the. I don't know if the coloring is made by the same person, but the coloring's consistent. I like the coloring. The story is unique. It's different. I enjoy it. So I really like it. Like I said, I hurried up and got the fourth volume, and yeah, that's pretty much it, Mike. Yeah, so I know you was talking about Transformers, man. You read the first
Yes.
volume?
Yes, the
Oh man,
IDW collection. So let me, yeah, because like a lot of people they was getting on me, because you know me since I was a little kid. I was a Transformers fanatic. I still got the DVDs collections of the '80s, and I got the original VCR of the movie of the '80s. But yeah, I'm a Transformers fanboy. So I'm gonna give a quick rundown. The book, because I got a couple of books from the
did you read
Transformers.
all of them, Michael, or did you just read volume one?
I read volume one of the IDW collection. Then I was reading volume two today. I'm like halfway through. So I got two, three. Um, I know I got four, six, and seven ordering. Man, five is not they're not reprinting. It's not for sale. It's not reprinting. It's out of stock. They ain't got it. So I
You
looked.
came at a good time though, Michael, because Transformers, the phase one, was out of print for like 2 years. I
I
had it,
know.
but a lot of people were paying crazy money for them volumes, dude.
I know. So I looked and I got a discount too. So real quick, before I start, if y'all listening, if you want some good hardcovers and trade paperbacks, we talked about them before. Again, it's on instocktrades.com. They will really give y'all a hookup with different publishing, and it's not just comics and graphic novels. They do mangas too and omnibuses.
Yeah.
So real quick, I did the Transformers. IDW collection. This is it's by the IDW. They've been doing the Transformers comic rooms for a couple of decades, and then a lot of people, if you don't know, Transformers they was also originally published by Marvel and the Marvel in UK back in the '80s, back in the '70s and '80s. But I did the IDW collection. It's got about like five different stories. Hold up, let me make sure I'm not doing it right. One, two, three, four, five, six. They got about eight different stories. Excuse me. The first story that I really recommend is when we started up with the IDW collection. It's the Megatron's origin. This was written by Eric Holmes. He's done a lot of the Transformers runs with IDW, and then the art style for the Megatron was by Alex Mile and then Marcello Matera. Real quick for a quick rundown. For the whole IDW collection, for this one right here, there's about, like I said, eight different stories into it, and they're not all in chronological order. So some of them they just go, they're just different stories, but most of them do have, they talk about the origins and the run. So IDW, like I said, they've been doing Transformers for decades. So this one came back in the 2010, and they did a new origins for it. So art style for each individuals all around, like all these different eight stories all around. I give each of the art like a seven or eight. I love it, but it's not the full out there because I'll start showing some pages. But I did want to give a warning because with Transformers, depending on what publication you're looking at or whatever issues, this right here, the IDW, I straight up get this for teens. This isn't something for little kids. I mean, it's a thick book. This isn't something really for little kids to read, just because there's a lot of dialogue and a lot of lore and history when it comes with Transformers. Because that's like one of the best series that came out from the '80s, late '70s, early '80s. Besides during that time, yeah, if it wasn't Marvel or DC, well, Transformers was with Marvel. IDW did really good with the Transformers. They did good with I don't think they did. Did IDW do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yeah,
Yeah, and then even
they
with
got a
GI
paper
Joe.
run right now with them.
Yeah, excuse me. And then with the GI Joe, so and He Man, and a couple others. So those are like the prime stuff are like really good nostalgia. But when it comes to lore, it's crazy out the wazoo. So most people when you think of the Transformers, they're like they're the Autobots versus the Decepticons. They come to Earth. They're fighting. There's a civil war on the planet Cybertron. But that's like the easy bread and butter. But when you really look at it, because I've been following them for years. They got the whole multiverse theory. They straight up they got the universe, the multiverse, the negative verse. They got the big stuff like Marvel. Straight up, they got the big stuff like Marvel and DC. And then with this IDW collection, it gets political. One of the biggest things from the with Transformers and X-Men, that really became popular with minorities is like what they represent. Straight up Stan Lee, when he was talking about the X-Men, at that time he wanted to represent, the minorities and blacks and what was going on in the world, how these mistreated. So they used the X-Men. They represented. He wanted Charles Xavier to represent. Martin Luther King Jr. and then he wanted Magneto to represent Malcolm X. The string force and how they do stuff. Same thing with the Transformers. You can straight up look at their political views because that's what I say. It do get political and they got a lot of history. Like you'll read some of the stuff they're talking about the government and the Senate, the social class and the worker system. So if you don't want to read a lot of stuff with knowledge, I definitely do not recommend this. But if you're a huge Transformers or lore kind of guy that loves a good story, I highly recommend this. But it'll get you thinking. Because as a little kid, when you hear about the Decepticons, straight up, they're the bad guys. They're bad. They just want to take over by force. But you don't realize the story that went into why the Decepticons came to be and what happened. Because they didn't just become Decepticons like that. So the first chapter, they'll throw you into the 2010s of the Megatron's origin. This is about 91 pages. Just to
Michael, quick question:
Yo,
is that is phase one, correct?
yeah. This is the IDW, yeah. Volume 1, phase 1. Because I seen the phase 2 hardcovers, and I'm not gonna get those just yet.
Yeah, because they right now, currently, phase one is completed, phase 2 is ongoing, and they start. Man, get this, Michael. They started phase 3. Yeah, phase 3 started last year, which I have all the single issues and the one released hardcover that they came out with, but they started phase 3.
I bet because they was that's just a crazy thing they do with Transformers, especially comics. Because they how we got Comic Cons every year. Transformers got their own special Comic Con called BotCon, and then they have their own comics. Their own fans and their own base can make their own comics, and they'll get it canon and serialized. So it's crazy. Like the fan base just blew my mind on all the information. But real quick, like the first issue talking about the Megatron origins. Like we just talked about earlier, when it talks about art, like I said, all around through the different issues, I'll start showing you like special spotlights, which is little stories. But this one alone with the Megatron origins, I said all of them is like 7 or 8. I'll probably say 7.5. But this one alone, if I had to be, nitpicky, I'll give it a 9. Just because of how detailed they went into it. Like I love, I love the Decepticons. But I love the way they just did the shadow, the layup, how they did Megatron, even with the background, how they do stuff, individual robot, well, Cybertronian, because they're called Cybertronians. Like I said, there is some dialogue up on here. I really recommend this really for teens and even young adults, just because straight up they talk about the social class system, slavery, underpaid workers, and then it really starts getting into they they talking about the Senate, how they do stuff, policing, stuff that was like, whoa. You can watch the 80s, you can watch the old, the classic Transformers 80s TV shows, and they'll talk about just a little bit of the origins. But when they get to Earth, they're always talking about protecting the humans. They're just trying to fight off the Decepticons. They're trying to collect the energon, the energy resources. They're trying to fight off an enemy and stuff like that. But when you get to the comics, the comics will just give you the lore at the wazoo, and especially they know about the multiverse theory and then what all they got to do and have. But let me show you a little bit more. So I like that because like I said, most people, if they know about the origins, Megatron wasn't always evil. He really wasn't, and then especially that wasn't his original name, and I couldn't remember his full name. But there's different origins where it shows him being friends with Optimus Prime at that time. Before he became Optimus Prime, he had another name, Orion Pax. Yeah, Orion Pax. Optimus Prime, before he became a Prime, his original name was like Orion. And it's crazy. So I like this. This is Sentinel Prime. This is Optimus Prime's leader. He's part of the police force. Policing. Automatic gave me that. That anime style, the big robot, the mech style, how they do it. The language in here, of course, there's gonna be, like I said, Cybertronians killing each other, so that's not gonna really hurt anybody. But with the language, they don't use the human language right. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. Oh, what it froze. They don't use the human language. So instead of saying, eyes, they'll say optics. And instead of saying the S word, they'll use scrap. So a lot of stuff when I was reading it, you gotta read. Yeah, you really gotta read it through. You're just like, oh, I was like, oh, they cursing. Be like, oh, they meant that. So you really gotta think about it. So that's what I say. Definitely not for little kids because like I said, there's a lot of words, and you got to see the motive or how stuff is playing out, or these stories, or that's what I said, the language too, and that deeper meaning. So. Like I said, I'm a lore type of guy, so it really brought in my mind how they did stuff, how they did Megatron. Like I said, for his art, I definitely give it a 9. I'm just a little biased. I probably drop it back down to 8 just because it does have a lot of dark shadows and overtone. But they was trying to represent, he's in the he's the bottom class. He's in the boonies. He's out in the sewers. He's in illegal fights. Just doing all this crazy nastiness. And let me show you another one. So and then they had a couple shots that I like, a couple panels that I loved. And I was putting it on Instagram, and Twitter that I love how they had them all laid out. Let me see if I can get a good one. Oh shoot! But for that art, I individually, I give it a 9. But if I want to be biased, that was me being biased. The individual, really speaking of it, I'll give it a 7 or 8. I like this one. Like I said with Megatron, a lot of people know about him. Usually his right arm is usually like a gun or a weapon, a mace, just something crazy instead of a regular arm. So they kind of show how that happened. He was fighting in the pits, and then it shows him, he don't bleed out. He got oil, so they show him in the machines, getting operated on. They're taking off his arms. They trying to show what all they can fix with him. And then, I got to show Starscream. Starscream's crazy. Starscream, he flip flops. I love him because he's so smug and arrogant. Starscream always wants power, wants to take control, but he's always getting beat down. He's always getting beaten up. So he's always sneaky. So he'll straight up backstab Megatron whenever he gets the chance. If it means he become a leader. Let me see. I want to show a good one. I'm gonna show. Yeah, I'm about to pull up the one where it showed Sentinel Prime. Yeah, show Sentinel Prime. He was about to ride out and suit up. Let me see if I can find it. But all in all, if you was just a regular reader, you'd be like, what? You'd be like, why they got these motives or these hatred, or why they talking about the resources or the citizens, stuff like that. And that's some of these stories they're not on Earth. That's what said with the Transformers universe is so huge. They're not always they're not always on Earth. There's like different sections and sectors. And different units and different teams or where they got to do missions or have their own stories and what they got to do. So the first one with Megatron, this talks about Cybertron and all the stuff they're doing. Matter of fact, I like this one. They got the soldier. You got these two Autobot soldiers that's talking, and then they kind of trying to figure out what's going on. So that Autobot, he's saying, "Oh, scrap," because there was a suicide bomb. There was a suicide bomber. There was a Decepticon suicide bomber. He was fighting for the cause, so he crashed down, trying to kill himself in the Autobots. So let me grab the last one. Oh, here we go. They had Sentinel Prime. He was suited up. With some good gear. Let me pull that over. So I like that. People like it when with Optimus Prime when it shows usually he's in a truck and he's on land mode, but when it shows like Optimus Prime with some bigger gear or air gear, they like that heavy suit. So they got an inspiration from Sentinel and all the stuff he was doing. I'll skip that. But then they had like I said, after they do the origins of Megatron of 2010, they'll start doing individuals. Oh shoot! Oh, I gotta show you this one, Danny. Hold up. They was showing Megatron all the upgrades he was doing, how he's revolting. So it's some bad some bad lighting, but it showed him he's on the corpses and just all the fire and all hell's breaking loose. He's having a civil war.
Oh, yeah.
He's always upgrading. What's up?
Well, I just say yeah, it's nice. I seen it.
Yeah. So that's why I said I like that. Put a deeper meaning, to the background in the story. So that's what I said. It's not just the good guys versus the bad guys. It really shows why they're fighting for the cause or why they're being the way. And then a lot of Decepticons they join to become Autobots, and vice versa. There's plenty of Autobots they become Decepticons. Just because of it's just a belief. It's straight up through the belief system and what they feel like they should do in the the political position. That's all it is. Being an Autobot Decepticon is just the political position and how they do stuff. So then there's those pages of a Megatron, they'll start doing ones like spotlights of different robots. So most of these spotlights are going to be Autobots. I know there's one that's just for Soundwave. He's a Decepticon, but I like this one. They did Blur. His story is really neat story. It had like a World War II S to it. Especially like it shows him he's like like that cover art. I was like, that's all right. But like when you start getting into the story and how it shows it, it straight up it reminds me of World War II. So like I said, the cover art can always change. But like when it gets detailed like this, I'll be quiet. Once they start getting more detailed and they showing good background, yeah, I'll be quiet. So you really can't be lacking in detail when it comes to making Transformers and robots. But with Blur, he was an Autobot. Well, before he was an Autobot, it kind of showed him. He was a racer. He was just a racer. He was like one of the fastest Cybertronians. And then it talks about like you showed the newscast and people talking about him about the political war. They was like, you're a celebrity and an athlete. They was like, are you gonna fight for the cause? And he was like, I ain't trying to do that. He was he shows his opinions, but then they'll start showing terrorist groups, Decepticons blowing up stuff, and then people are trying to recruit him. Like a soldier. He's like, he could fight for the cause. He could fight for this and that, and then they'll kind of show his struggle. What he want to do or how he does, what position that he falls for. He's like, I really want to be an Autobot fighting the resistance. He's like, I want to be a Decepticon that's like a terrorist. And he was like, I don't care. He's like, I just want to be a racer. He just like, I want to be a racer for the fans and do all the stuff. And then I love this shot. I told you Starscream is so smug. I love the shot. I had it on Instagram and Twitter. Let me see if I can pull it up close. And if it could focus. Let me get him to focus on it. But it's just him putting his hands together, and then he's just straight up saying, let me put it this way: how much do you really care about those around you? He's like, how about your fans? He's like, oh, tell me, have you ever really felt remorse or a remorse loss? And I was like, oh, he's trying to solicit. He's trying to get it. He's trying to get him to join the cause. So that was hilarious. But I won't tell you, like, well, I did say he was an Autobot, so you can kind of figure what side that he chooses. Um, and I like that cover spread. If you got a full page spread of a character, I like that detail. So it shows Blur, all sleek. He got remodeled. He got a new, he got the Autobots emblem, and this is looking nice. So there's a couple other stories. Like I said, he's talking about one of Cliff Jumper. He's usually like the medic and the mercenary of the Autobots. His story is actually more anime-esque, for real, for real. I give it I actually will give this like a 6. It is a little bit, it is detailed, but since it's like anime, it's all the glitz and glamour. Like I could definitely show it. He's on an alien planet, so like this shows him talking to these aliens. He's telling them about who he is. He's trying to help them out. To get them little anime eyes and spread their eyes. So his story was actually pretty interesting. It actually got sad. A couple people was getting killed, so I keep forgetting. It's a little bit mature, and then of course, he kills Decepticons too. So, like straight up, dude was hiding in the jungles and the forest, and he didn't want to set off his gun, so he was impaling and stabbing people, and I was like, whoa. So, like I said, yeah, people was like, oh, the robots, you ain't gotta worry about them dying, you ain't gotta worry about this and that. I was like, that's true, but then it shows other life forms. Like I said, he's on an alien planet, so it'll show the aliens dying. But since it's more anime style, yeah, I say it's like a 6. Then, like I said, there was a spotlight for 2 Decepticons. Excuse me, there was a spotlight for Shockwave, who's like the mad scientist, and then there's Soundwave, who was one of Megatron's right-hand man. He's one of my favorite Decepticons. Soundwave's the one that transferred to the boombox and the cassette tape player, so he can send out little robots with him too. So then they showed a little bit of the Dinobots. I love the Dinobots. They did. This reminded me of 90s Marvel. Straight up, it showed the Dinobots transforming. Oh, my thing freeze?
No, why?
No, it looked like it showed it freezed on my side. I love the Dinobots and all the other stuff, so it kind of shows them up front. And then he's saying, these Dinobots initiate beast mode. So it tells a little bit of origins of why Dinobots came to be, how they were stuck on Earth. Because one of the main stories with the Dinobots, they're one of the strongest groups with the Autobots, but they're really arrogant. Especially with their leader Grimlock. So it kind of shows most of the stories and the continuity. Usually the Dinobots are either found on Earth, frozen or fossilized or whatever, and then they go berserk, or they're trying to be free, or they've been experimented on, back on Cybertron and turned into dinosaurs and then sent to Earth. So there's a good continuity how they do stuff and how they came to be. I love Shockwave. So it shows the Dinobots versus Shockwave. He's like I said, he's the mad scientist. He does the experiments. He does all this crazy stuff. So he got some good lore with him too. Yeah, I for sure. I like that cover. I like that I like that one of Shockwave. So with Shockwave, that's who he is. He got the one eye. He got that purple. He got crazy machines, stuff like that. That art style. Definitely, I give it a 7, probably 8. Yeah, I ain't trying to go through all of them just because it's gonna be so long, and I don't want to ruin the story. But definitely, if people feel like, man, I couldn't understand it, or people are like, well, why is this person like this, or why is stuff like that? I really recommend, especially people on YouTube, to look up Chris McFeely. I've been following him for a couple of years. He does everything about the Transformers, from the toy line, the comics, the graphic novels, the special, run-ins that they do. So he can definitely help y'all with some history and lore, because I know I had to get in on it too, because, As I said, the Transformer universe is so big. I couldn't talk about it just one episode, like straight up. I'll if I say one thing, it goes through a whole different other stuff. Just like the planet Cybertron. People they know that. Some people know okay, it's alive, but then some people I thought it was destroyed, and it's true. It's both true and false. The planet's still alive, but like half of it has been destroyed. So like you still got life on Cybertron, but the other half of it is dead. Or there's still some stuff alive there, but it's just corrupt. And then how Cybertronians came to be. You got different lords and plot points of them, and there's been plenty of stuff that's been retconned. A lot of people thought they were created by these aliens, these like weird faced aliens called the quintessentials. They try to talk about them in the Michael Bay movie, and they did terrible with that. And then that's been retconned. The quintessentials they didn't make the Cybertronians. They helped upgrade them, but they didn't make them. So you got to talk about that. And then the planet itself, Cybertron, it's technically alive. It's like the reincarnation of their god Primus, and it's just everywhere. Like Daniel, it's just everywhere. They talk about stuff, like how Marvel talks about their universe, how they got, how stuff was made, but then you got like the different realms or the different dimensions, who put who there. Matter of fact, what are they called? It's in Marvel. They're about to make a movie out of them. They're the ones that put in the DNA for early human civilization. They're the one that helped put in the X genes and the Inhumans and all the other stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Whoa.
The Celestials. The Celestials. The Celestials.
Whoa.
You hear me?
Yeah. I heard you.
Okay, yeah, the Celestials. So like with the Marvel universe and how their plot is, most of us humans or the superhumans that are here, their DNA from generations and millennia ago was planted and experimented on by different beings called the Celestials. And then there was other beings too that kind of put their stuff on Earth, to see it grow and do other stuff. So that's the same thing how they do with the Transformers. Like I said, their planet was like the reincarnation or the dead soul of their god, and it's this crazy stuff. Just like it cracked me up with some of the lore. With Optimus Prime, why he's such one of the greatest leaders. He's been killed. Optimus Prime gets killed so many times, but he keeps coming back because their soul, they call it like their spark. But one of the running rules with Optimus Prime, man, he's like the reincarnation of one of their gods and their saviors. Optimus Prime is kind of like the robot Jesus. They straight up was like, you wanted the prophesied one, you wanted the 12 rulers, one of the 12 rulers. So there's like 12 different primes, and they each have their own sanction and what they do to help out. So they was like, we're the 12 disciples, but then there's a bigger one that helps lead it. And then they're talking about Optimus Prime. You're the reincarnation of one of the great leader of the primes. So no matter what, we need you to come back and lead us till the end of time, or when the real world, the universe breaks out. We need your help and all that other stuff. So that cracked me up. You got a reincarnated robot Jesus up in there, fighting for civil rights. So I like that. But like I said, that lore is just everywhere. And then especially like I said, you see on the Decepticon side of what they do and their fractions and factions, because they break up their rules and their groups into different categories and what they kind of want to do with stuff. So that's what I said. Like I said, the IDW collection, the phase one, volume one, the IDW Transformers collection.
What's the price on them, Mike?
Shoot, I bought this. The price on here is $49.99.
Yeah, but that's not what you paid though.
Huh?
I said, yeah, but that's not what you paid though.
I paid $30 on it. That's what I said. In stock trade was they did me good. So I saved about 20% because it's that 30 out of 50. Yeah, I saved about 20% on this. But then I got 2 more books, so I felt good. So and especially over.
And those stories are amazing. So that is definitely something worth getting and reading and letting
Yeah,
your kids read. It's amazing.
but that's what I said. Kids wise, I would actually probably say tweens or
Well,
young
yeah,
adults. Like that's what I say. Yeah, like if I could not see an 8-year-old finish 240 pages of this. I mean, they'll like the art, the different art stuff like that. Like to really read the story, and that's what I said. When it gets like political, talking about underpaid boot camps, plots, assassinations attempts, civil class, service, all that other stuff, and rebellions. Yeah, I could see it being a little mature, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you can give this book to a little kid because they're just gonna see robots. But if they want a good story, I definitely say teens, just because they can kind of read it and be like, oh, okay, it wasn't just black and white. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to good robots versus bad robots, and that's what I said. The first 90 pages, the Megatron origin. You see his perspective he was a worker, and then it was just like the civil outcry, and then he'll start fighting and fighting, and then he was channeling his rage. Instead of him, going to the Senate and his other councils and other stuff, he was just starting fighting with force, and then he's like, I want a rebellion. He's like, we're gonna quit doing that, and then same thing with the Autobots. Before they was freedom, before they was a rescue group, they was straight up just a police group. They was just policing, and they was just like, we follow the law. That's it. They don't really care about it. They'll execute you if you just misbehave. And then, like I said, the stories get really interesting when you see the spotlights, the little mini stories of different characters or where they're going to end up or their mission or that's to say how they feel and stuff. So it was phenomenal. Yeah, I really recommend a good read. Like I said, the artwork for all of them, all of the 8 different stories, I would give them an average of 7. Individually, like I said, that they can go up and down. The Megatron one, the first one, the Megatron origin, I already said a 9, 8 or 9, just because it gets really good on the details. And I had to reread it. I had to reread it because I was focusing on the art and what he was doing or what he was planning, and then I had to read the plans and then other plans and other people's opinions and their political plans and what they want to do. People just wanted violence, and it was just kept going and going. I was like, whoa, that it was just good. It was just that good. So, and a lot of people, if you hear Megatron, his biggest thing was he just wanted to protect his planet, Cybertron. He just wants to protect it and revive it. But then he also wanted to become a leader. So, he kind of wanted a monarchy. So then, you're just like, okay. But then, early on, he did want a democracy. But then, he saw that, democracy was kind of flawed. And then, as I say, he'll just get everything from, people's opinions, policing, terrorist groups. And I was like, oh, gosh. So it's a mouthful. It's straight up a mouthful. Definitely, if you want more information and lore, I really recommend Chris McFeely on YouTube because he'll show you the breakdowns of the Transformers and individual robots. Because there's hundreds of different Cybertronians and robots on here that I couldn't even name them because some of them got some crazy names that I couldn't even remember. He'll tell you the story of them and what impact that they had, and that's what I said too. You got the multiverse theory in the Transformer universe, so you might pick up a comic that shows a different origin, and that's no problem because it can be canon for that series and that run line. And then they're aware of they live in a multiverse. They're fully aware of what goes on, and then their biggest villain is Unicron. I love Unicron. He's a big old planet, a transforming planet, and he's literally like their version of the man. He's like the Marvel version of Galactus. Yeah, that's how he is. Unicron's just the Marvel version of Galactus.
HasLab is selling a toy of it.
Yeah, I seen some of their stuff. Because they released a version of Unicron back in 2019, late 2018, 2019. Depending, huh?
It cost $500.
Yup, that's the one. So they got some Hasbro has plenty of toy lines of the Transformer robots and their models. And as I said, you can do your research on different models you want of the Transformers, because Hasbro, they can do pretty good, but then they can do you dirty depending on what line you want. Like, I like some robots from the Siege toy line, but I'm gonna be sidetracked. But that's what I'm saying. The Transformers, they up there. A company that's not Marvel and DC, IDW and Transformers, they just been there crazy. And again, Transformers, they were created with by Marvel. Some of the comics lines was by Marvel, and in the Marvel in the UK by Bob Budiansky. Yeah, Bob Budiansky. So he did some crazy stuff originally, with Marvel back in the 70s and 80s. So that's what I say. It goes crazy when it gets to the story. But like I said, the age group, yeah, I probably say definitely teens. Definitely young adults straight up. If you want to read a good story that's action adventure and it kind of makes you think, bam, right here. You can give this to little kids. They're just gonna see robots fighting, cool.
How many is the first volume?
How many issues? It got
I think
it got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It got 8 issues. 8 stories. But then I know one of them has. Hold up. I know one of them they have a specific issues of. Yeah, there's 8. There's 8 stories, but which one has specific issues? Here we go. So the Megatron Origin had 4 issues, but they put it together. Okay. Then there's one that was called Soundwave and Infiltration that had 6 issues, but they put it all into one. And then, like I said, there's 6 other stories and spotlights. So 1 issue basically. Yeah. So really, you got 6 right there, 10. So really, if you want to be technical, there's 16 issues in here. If you want to be technical, yeah, because they break down the stories.
I think that's one of the bigger ones.
Huh?
I think because they're not all the same size, are they? Yeah, never mind. They got different issues. Some of them.
Some of them got different numbers. Yeah, So that's all I said. Yeah, there's definitely different artworks, different artists and artworks on here. But that's what I said. To judge them all, I give them a 7. Just like even it all out, all 8 of these 7. That's what I said. Story wise, you'll love if the first story doesn't get you kind of interested, with Megatron and what's going on, then the next stories that's like action adventures, and they have a theme with it. Like I said with Blur, his was like he was like in the his theme was like World War II era, like straight up. That's like it was like a World War II. He was like he was being enlisted. That's straight up. He was a celebrity, and he was a racer. And then you see people talking about him. It was like, well, what's your political views? How do you feel about this and that? Are you going to join the cause? And he was like, I'm a celebrity. Like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm a racer. I'm an athlete. He's like, I don't want to do that. And then people were like, well, we're going to stop supporting you for the race. They was like, or there was terrorist groups, and they was like, we're shutting the race down. You're not going to compete. And then shows him that classic scenario. He's like, man, he's on down of his luck. Shows him in a bar drinking. And then that's to say he's getting solicited. By, hey, join the cause. Hey, recruit. Hey, enlist. And then you got the other side. The Decepticons were like, how do you really feel if you lose somebody? How do you feel about a loss? Do you really think you just a star? They trying to feed into him. So I was like, man, that you get stuff like that in real life. Yep. And then there's different stories of different bots. Of them. They just keep fighting. They just keep fighting, and you see the dialogue of like, what's the purpose, my cause, or as I said, there's some that are just quick action pace, and I liked it. But pricing, like I said, you can buy like the single issues, like the Megatron Origins. The spotlights will be trade paperback for sure, because they weren't issues, the spotlights. So like the Megatron Origins, you can buy the 4 issues. I wouldn't tell you how much they run. You can buy the spotlights of Blur, Cliff Jumper, Shockwave, Nightbeat, Hot Rod, Soundwave. Then you can buy 6 issues of the Infiltrations. But that's what I'm saying. All of those 16 issues, that's probably going to cost you definitely over $50 for
Yeah,
sure. For sure.
yeah.
Just buying 16 issues and your average is going to be about, the cheapest will be like $4. But that's what I'm saying. Some of these spotlights or trade paperbacks, please, your best bet definitely IDW's collection, because that's what I'm saying. They just packed it in, and just keep you entertained. That's your best bet. I would not recommend y'all to buy a single issue because you're just gonna burn your money. You will definitely burn your money out of that one. But yeah, it was crazy. So that's what I said. I'm a big Transformers nerd and just try to figure some stuff out and get more lore and deepen, kind of deepen in to see what's how stuff to do. So it got me entertained, even with some of the artwork that I didn't really like, or stuff that was like, it's okay. Like I said, some of them were like anime style, but it was like, when you see the meaning, that's what I said. There was just a huge meaning. I was like, yeah, I said that's something that gets you hooked. If you got a really good story and okayish artwork, it'll be okay. But if you got amazing artwork and a crappy story, that don't work with me personally. That wouldn't work with me. If you got like the best artwork, but the storyline is so generic and it's this bull crap, I'll be like, you know, that's a polished turd. You know what I'm saying? I don't want a polished turd. I like them diamonds in the rough, or you get them special hidden gems. You know what I'm saying? I like those. So I don't want people like, man, that artwork's amazing. Man, this is, you see all this crazy stuff, all the details, but then the story's like, it don't make no sense. Or there ain't no story. That'd be like, nah. I'll be like, I'll be all right. That's what I'm saying.
That's for a select few people. They're
Yeah, I know.
hardcore into art or a hardcore fan of the artist. Because
I know. So yeah, that is a select few. So I ain't seen nobody message me yet about their specific artists or writers. A couple, like I said, a couple of my favorite artists is, I love Donny Cates. Donny Cates been doing some justice. So Donny Cates from Marvel and for what's another company he wrote for? I want to say Image. I want to say he did something for Image, but because he did something called like the Rednecks or the Red Belly, something. This look
Roughnecks, I think.
Roughneck, yeah, he did this something. So I don't think it was Image. It was something. It was it was mature for sure. But I love Donny Cates. I love Chris Bunn. He does some good stuff. Those are really my top two. Well, I love Jim Starlin. I like Jim Starlin. He do really good too. Yeah, that's really from my top three that I can name off my head that I can really get into their stuff and all their stuff that got into it. Yeah, but with the, like I said, with the IDW Transformers collection, oh yeah, and that's what I say. If y'all just a fan of this collecting and then buying stuff, I know I got a couple people on here. They've been buying stuff from what we recommend. I'd say add this to your wish list. I wouldn't say just buy it. I actually would say to buy it quickly, just because they might run out of stock again or reprinting, because volume 5 is out of stock, is out of sale. Like, I couldn't find it on in stock trade. I couldn't find it on eBay. I couldn't even find it on their website, IDW Publishing. They were like out of stock. They couldn't have it. So that made me upset. I couldn't even get my full collection.
It was Redneck.
Okay. So I don't know what company that
Image. It was God Country as well. It was God Country as well. I reviewed that one.
Yep. So Donny Cates, he makes he makes an interesting story. He got some good interesting stories. But like I said, when it came with him and Marvel, oh man, he made the continuity and references like from decades ago, and I was like, heck yeah. But anyways, enough about Donnie. Yeah, like I said, it's a good IDW Transformers, definitely good for people if you're a fan, or if you're just curious, or let's say you just want to start collecting, have collections, definitely get this. Yeah, definitely get this. So this will be really good. And that's to say, this can entertain you. And that's to say, if you just want quick entertainment, read it. If you want a deep philosophy, read it. If you want something to make your mind think, read it. Like, you cannot go wrong with it. And that's what I said too. You're gonna have to reread it a couple of times, just because their language, it's not, yes, they speak English, but some of the stuff that they reference, You know, like I said, when they say eyes, they say optics. You know, instead of saying the S word, they say scrap. You know, if they saying they're bleeding out, they might say rusting or they're corroding. Metallic robotic terms. So that was something that's pretty good. So that's what I say. I have to look at it. I was like, oh, you know, just to keep it going. Um, that's that's pretty much it. You know, like I said, yeah, this would is good for anybody who's a fan, huge fan, or just kind of curious. I'll just say you just get into it. You know, I wouldn't tell you all the political differences that they have, because that's to say you can just depending on what series and what universe and what run, it will go for hours. It will straight to go for hours. You know, that's what I said. Same thing with the X-Men. Stan Lee at that time when he was creating the X-Men characters, what he wanted them to represent. He wanted them to represent blacks and minorities. The civil destruction and people being treated as second class citizens. So he did amazing. That's one of Marvel's biggest team is the X-Men. So you can straight up see their differences like for decades. Same thing with Transformers, IDW and Transformers. Please, you can get past the basic action and adventures, but if you want a serious story, they got some out there that I was like, wow. I was like, didn't think of it like that. Just because I remember there was one run, I'm about to look it up. It was talking about, even though the Cybertronians, they was talking about like the same sex relationships, because they're Cybertronians. So they were like, we never thought about relationships or that about kids. But then when they was like trying to pair them up with same couple, kind of shows what was going on with them and what was they was fighting, and then it got sad. There was actually because I know one of the issues they were like there was a couple, two robot dudes, but then one of them was a robot. One was an Autobot, one was a Decepticon, so one had to kill each other. And I was, they was like, is this my fault for thinking outside of the line? This is my fault not being right. And then dude committed suicide. I was like, wow, that was a tragic lesson. I was like, wow, I was like, that's this. I was like, what I'm saying? It can get dark. There's a couple of them. They've been they'll show them being experimented on. They got pain. They show them going crazy. They got mental institute, and that's what I said. They got the slums and the caste system. They should have a civil class system. Who's a better robot than who? If you can't transform into this, or if you transform into a creature, you're a lower color. You're a weird thing, and it goes everywhere. It just goes everywhere. So you can see the. And there's plenty of single issues and spotlights and definitely trade paperbacks that shows certain robots on their opinions and their views and what they're fighting for, what they feel, how they do stuff, besides going to Earth, and that's what I say, it's so broad. They don't have to be in Earth to have a good story. They'll be out in space and alien planets and all this other crap. But that's pretty much it on my end. Again, I was talking about the Transformers IDW collection. Like I said, depending on what type of level of reader, how you want to think, get it, because it's so good. Again, I want to give a shout out to Tony Petty for shipping me some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So if y'all see me on Twitter, I'll be talking about a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh, what I want to do. That's my little side hobby. Keep it going. I gotta give a shout out to Monotone Kami. He's an amazing artist and YouTuber. He's been helping me out with some stuff and editing, and then my profiles. If y'all see me on the internet, they're anime style. He be doing them, so I love him. Hope you're doing well. I just want to thank all the people that's watching this. Hope everybody's safe. I know a lot of people are losing their minds and going crazy just staying at home. So I hope y'all gonna be all right. I was losing my mind a little bit these past couple weeks, but my books came in. I started getting orders of books and cards. So I'm calming down. You know what I'm saying? I ain't working too much, so I got my books to keep me busy for the next couple of days and weeks. And then we got video games, so that's another thing I'm gonna give a shout out. If, a lot of people's messaging me if I how come I don't get on a lot. I really haven't been getting on a lot, especially these past couple of days. But if you're definitely trying to hit up on Call of Duty and Warzone, straight up just look up Big Book Bros, and definitely look up the Greco Bully Camp on Instagram. You'll see me and Danny's gamer tags. You can just join us whenever you see us online. Just we can just talk and chill, play games, and we'll be hitting hard.
Oh yeah.
Hope everybody, hope everybody's safe. Hope we all good. You already know Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and YouTube. Look up Big Book Bros. I try to post pictures, let y'all know what we get heads up, for our next episode on the weekends. The rant videos, we just do those in the spur of the moments. I wouldn't tell you the next time I schedule rant videos. I had a couple of people asking. They was clowning on me. I like I said, I don't do scripts. All the stuff that you seen that's live or when it's the next day. We just talk when we talk. So I don't really try to do a lot of scripts unless I do get my information. If I need to get information or especially when it comes to like money production, I definitely want to get that or more general background. I'll definitely get that. But the rant videos, we'll see. I'll just once we finish here, I'll talk to Danny, and we'll just talk whenever, and then we post a rant video in the middle of the weekday. We'll do that. So all in all, hope everybody's safe again. I talked about the Transformers.
All right, Mike. Come on, man.
I know. I'm talking. I'm done. All right, y'all.
You keep repeating yourself.
I know. Well, you just give me a signal. You need to text me. I'm done.
You funny. Oh man, but shoot, I'm good. With that being said, we out.
Yeah.